There's a point of stress, and I think I'm past that, to be honest. I just feel like I'm battling every freaking situation that can be handed to me, and I'm getting dealt on a silver platter.
It doesn't matter what you got. It's all about time, you know? It's very easy to cut corners and be like, dude, we could make it, and, you know, do something the wrong way, and no one will ever see it, you know? That's not who we are.
They say, like, it's 90% of the car takes 10% of the time. It's that last 10% that takes the most time, and that's where we're at right now.
We want to make SEMA, we need to make it happen, but I trust in our team will be there. Don't get me wrong, it scares the living shit out of me, but I know if we put our heads down, we can make it happen.
So some may ask what's more important, right? Holding the trophy at SEMA Battle of the Builders or really displaying what you can do as a shop. To have both would be amazing, right? But I know either way, whether we win or we don't, we're gonna show everybody how advanced we can build a car, new technology that we can put in a car, and display what I feel is ahead of its time.
Man, the way I would explain Blazin Rodz is if you ever went to sleep and dreamt of like all the cars that you wanted, and you walked into the garage, that's Blazin Rodz. And imagine if the team said, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and take all barriers off. There ain't no budget. Let's go ahead and say no budget. Just imagine what you can build. And that's what these guys are doing. They're building an incredible 1970 Chevelle that is, man, I can't, it's really hard to put into words until you see it at SEMA.
The reason I chose a 1970 Chevelle is, to me personally, I feel that's the iconic American muscle car. I feel like if you type in American muscle, that 1970 Chevelle for some reason always pops up, right? The donor Chevelle actually came from a family friend. He had it sitting on the side of his house for a couple of years. I always asked him about it, if he wanted to sell it. And then one day I was like, hey, this is the idea I have for this car. Would you be willing to sell it? He's like, if you're gonna do that to that car, he's like, I'll be willing to sell it. And then we made a deal, and that's how we got the car.
Got your fluorescent light bulb in there.
Well, it'll be all right.
Wow.
What the
Does it fit?
Just so?
This side's gonna line up.
That looks pretty good.
That was the trick.
When I first joined the Blazin Rodz crew, I did not expect to be up in Ojai in the summer heat, like 3.5 hours from where we live. No, I did not, but you gotta do what you gotta do to try and get it done.
Note to self, that has to go together, and it's gonna take like a team of people to stress up.
We know the car. We've been with the car since day one, so we know exactly where things are and like how they're supposed to be. So any question, like it's a lot easier for us to be here and explain things to Justin and help him get his job done better as well.
Swear to God, dude. I just wanna be by myself in my own shop.
It's definitely tough being up here. Like the shop's it's not designed to have this many people in it, and we're all working around each other. This shit looks it's already stiff as too, because it's actually got bolts in it.
Just panel bond it. How the are we gonna get that to stay perfectly lined up, dude? My biggest concern with the build and where we're at right now and where we need to go is just that ever-looming time crunch. The main things are getting ticked off somehow. We're kind of meeting those, but with every main thing you have ticked off, there's still 10 little details that have to be done for each thing. So So a lot of times getting to that 90% mark is one thing, but that last 10% might take the same amount of time as getting to the 90s.
A little tricky.
Oh, that's the glory shot, dude.
All right, watch your giraffe arms.
There we go.
She is.
One of the main points on the car is the front bumper. It's like, I've never seen a muscle car bumper like it. Carbon fiber lightweight my ass.
Careful with that condenser, yeah.
The thing with composites is like resin heats up, so as it's curing, stuff warps. The prints themselves warp a little bit, like nothing's ever perfect. These are big, big pieces. It's not a small little, like your at-home printer size.
That's a Chevelle?
Looks like a drift car right now, dude. That's it.
So in regards of the car not making it, there's always a possibility. I mean, my belief truly is we're giving it our best effort, our best attitudes, and working really long days, and that's all we can do.
Well, I think what Blazin Rodz is doing this year for SEMA is totally different. I think we're building, you know, if we look at the Chevelle, we're building something that nobody's tackled. I understand why, but nobody's tackled that project. So I think we're the crazy ones at this point. But I think that, and I think the Charger is, you know, both of them. They're both going to be two unique cars that, you know, no one's really done anything with at this level.
I think we can get it.
No, you can't. Watch your back.
I know, I got skinny for a second.
Yeah, right behind you. How close are you on that?
Nice.
It looks better in this light.
Yeah, at least you can see the color.
Yeah, big time.
Blazin Rodz is not even a year old yet, but it's all a learning curve, you know. Luckily, we have Jason, you know, who's been there, and he's just a phone call or, you know, drive down the street to go ask, you know, a question or something I don't know or something Scotty doesn't know or Waylon or Spencer. Motor's gonna go put the motor in. I fortunately have to pull the whole front end off, but it's okay. We'll get the motor in. I have all the plumbing stuff, so we're good on that.
Do we have everything we need, parts-wise, or are we still waiting on stuff?
There is some fittings and stuff that I still am gonna have to order because obviously I didn't have the car and I just did it to what I know I'm gonna need. There's gonna be like little odd end things, but other than that, I mean, the inside, it's just, there's a couple things I have to put in on the inside.
Yeah, like the AC, right? Hook up with the AC.
Yeah, just the AC shifter, the new steering column, steering wheel. We're not touching anything on the inside, that's all.
Yeah, when's it go to avant-garde, 2 weeks?
At the end of this month. So another difficult thing on meeting these timelines is that the cars themselves have to travel a lot. For instance, when we're talking about the Charger, the car physically at the end has to go to Florida to get the whole interior put in and assembled. This is the only thing Waylon has to make is he has to make these caps here and then has to make the exhaust tips. That's the only thing that we need on this car that we don't have, now that I think about it. But everything else we have. What we did was we went ahead and put targets all over so Waylon could go ahead and scan inside there. We're gonna take those files and we're gonna put them in a Dropbox file and then we send them over to Avant-Garde, who's gonna do the interior in the cars. And what they do is they take that file and they put it in their computer and they are able to design the computer in CAD and then 3D print interior models for the car. I have to put eyes on it before it leaves Avant-Garde because I don't know, I mean, what if, God forbid, something happens, you know? I cannot.
Why don't you go to avant-garde on like Monday?
What
Before it
car's
leaves.
coming back Monday?
No, I want to go that last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go there and then just fly to Vegas from there.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I can't do that. I need some time to rest.
So what's plan B, dude?
There is no plan B. Plan B is make sure plan A works.
You better hope plan C is fitting it in a plane and getting it over here.
So we got 71 days till SEMA. So we just got to hustle to get this thing together. And
Back away.
I have a question.
yeah,
Why are you still standing there?
because you're here talking to me.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying to get to
great.
work.
Oh, here we go now.
It is your fault.
It's my fault. It's always my fault.
So I expected Charger number 2 to follow within 3-4 weeks of Charger number 1 to come in. And I figured that, okay, that's gonna give me enough time to work on Charger 1, make 2 parts for it, you know, so the other one comes in and we can kind of just keep repeating the process, right? That didn't happen. So I've come up with a plan. We have Charger number 2 here. Has all the exact same parts, all the same suspension, every part's exactly the same. They're identical cars. So I'm like, let's just pull all the parts off this car, send them to Cerakote. So if everything goes as planned, we'll make car number 1 for SEMA and all our problems are solved. So Scotty has the motor in his truck with the stand, and then I brought the supercharger. It's already disassembled, so
It's ready to go.
it's ready to go.
When I first heard about the type of parts that Blazin Rodz are gonna put on their cars, I was drooling, to be honest. It's pretty much like a Cerakoter's dream. Right behind you, Scotty.
All right, drop her as fast as you can go.
That it?
Yeah, weighs about 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, looks like that'd be fun.
All right, so what's the plan?
Because the motor block comes black originally from Dodge, I want to keep the block heads black because the valve covers that it came with has like these billet valve covers. They're all serial numbered.
So Cerakote originally started as a firearms coating, and that was probably over a decade ago. It caught my eye then. I didn't really think much of it, even though I've been a painter for over 20 years, and I'm not a gun nut, but I'm into guns.
So we'll do the accessories, that same color we're doing the exhaust and everything.
Yeah.
It was, what was that name of that color
It's
again?
gonna look good, the Glacier Forge.
The Glacier Forge, yep.
We already got the alternators done.
Okay, sweet.
Nice color with the black. What parts am I doing for Blazin Rodz on these builds? What parts am I not doing? I'm basically doing everything but the body and the frame.
Let's do the whole motor, so we'll just shoot it all black. And then the supercharger, let's do it in the Glacier Forged. And then the direct connection, we'll do that in black. I think it'll just give it a pop.
Yeah.
Because the whole carbon piece that's in the engine bay follows up to this line here and has the same like palm tree design. So Justin made all that in metal, so now we're getting all that done in carbon. So the carbon color is gonna fall into the car with it.
We're doing a lot of the pillar work on the interior roll cage. There's a lot of things that we're doing, but if I had to guess, I'd be probably 70 to 80% of everything that's coated on the car will be my Cerakote.
So all the beauty on the engine bay, transmission, all of that, suspension, everything, it's all on you.
No pressure, right? Well, since I've only been doing this for about 3 years now, I haven't gotten to do a complete build to this magnitude, but I'm certainly not afraid of it. So when you need it by?
How soon can you get it to us?
Normally something like this is a minimum 2 weeks, but given the circumstances, it's possible we can have a call to you on Monday, bring some donuts and coffee, help me load this thing up.
Hey, I'll bring donuts and coffee if it's done by Monday.
All right. Everything that leaves this shop, I have inside my head that another applicator or a builder, or someone's gonna see my work on a car at a show somewhere, and they're gonna be like, who did that car? And if my name's on it and it looks anything lower than A+, like I can't live with that.
We're at a critical point in the build right now where we all need to come together and really discuss any issues that are at hand, any concerns, because you can write everything down and want it to be textbook, but it never is. There is so much work and so much time that everyone still has to do. This was my fear at the beginning, is the what if factor, right? What if it's not finished?
My biggest concern for sure is I don't want us to like butcher our work. If we'd make this thing absolutely gnarly and then we the paint up on the car, it's very critical that everyone, you know, comes up with their concerns, you know. If no one talked about what we are talking about, we could potentially just absolutely foil this whole thing, foil the whole Blazin Rodz like thing we've been talking about for so long.
Then it comes down time to assembly. At this rate, there is days for assembly on something that is 98% completely one-off. We made the parts. There's so many things that we're like, if this doesn't work, we don't even know what we're gonna do, because all of our eggs are in this one basket on as far as like, this has to work the first time and it cannot fail.
So for the past couple months, Waylon and Spencer have been out here in Ojai. Scotty and myself have been down in Rancho Santa Margarita. It's about a 3.5 hour drive. And to be honest, it's been a nightmare.
I've seen a lot of cars and I've been able to be involved with some high-end cars, and in my opinion, you guys could take this and display it almost as it stands and blow people's minds, you know?
At this point, like, if we don't figure out a solid plan right now, then there's no hope in the car.
You might just win Battle of the Builders. I'm just saying maybe right off the rip with just the body being that way, because it's not a Bondo
It's
special.
Battle of the Builders, not Battle of the Painters.
Yeah.
I think it almost gives like you wake up next to a pretty girl with no makeup and she's got no makeup on and you're like, holy shit, she's hot. If we're continuing on the path, the original plan, we didn't know that these problems will arise, but the problems that are currently at our hand right now are just absolutely, I think, ruining the car. It's just not the caliber that we can do it.
Bringing it in a raw state, there's gonna be a little bit of leeway. There has to be an appreciation for something that is basically raw and to the level of this, and our fitment everywhere, like mechanical end, body side, everything is gonna be so perfect.
Previous times in my life, I've been a very snappy person, and you know, I've learned a lot from Jason, and how to be more patient, how to listen, listen to people, and make everybody's point valid. Either way, whether it has a color on it or it's raw, doesn't make it ineligible for anything.
No.
I think it's a fatter flex, dude.
I still want to get the frame powder coat. Like, I want it to be like, okay, after SEMA, whatever, like we can just pop, take the interior out, pop the body off, and then we can go get it painted.
The fact that Riccardo's even down to listen, like you can't ask for any more. It speaks a lot about like his character as like a leader, because that's what a leader's for.
Let's still push for Battle of the Builders, right? The only thing that I see changing now is whether we're gonna bring it raw or there's gonna be paint on it.
As far as being like a fabricator and doing this for a living, I think we have a better chance. It showcases what we can do.
Never said we were painting the car.
There you go.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, you just nailed it, bro. It's true.
We never talked about a color. We'll still shoot for that, for what our original plan was, but now that we all talked, we have a plan B that I don't think is gonna sacrifice anything. It may help it. So now with this new modified plan, I feel our chances at Battle of the Builders is still great. It's like painting a picture. You see something in your head, right? You start doing it, but then you look at it and you're like, we can change a little something here, or we can do something a little bit different. And then in the end, sometimes it makes things better.
Well, the way I see setbacks is, yes, it can hold you back, it can put you behind, especially if you got deadlines and things like that. But with the right people, getting together, talk about it, figure it out, walk step by step on how you can fix it is really what it comes down to.
One thing that Waylon always says, he's like, oh, I can make that in 3 minutes. And it legit is 3 minutes to make something usually.
Now it'll tune it up. So now you could actually model off of this.
We were mounting a gas pedal and I needed to make a standoff. Yeah, sure, I can go cut some tubes down, make a plate, make a standoff. And I just hand it to Waylon and be like, hey, Waylon, I did standoff to be 3 inches. Literally scans it, puts it on the computer, 3 minutes later, it's in the printer printing. And it took 15 minutes to print that part.
And then from there, you just import this into your CAD program, and then now you just float that baby around until you make sure it clears everything.
Going back to that statement, time is money. How you can build a car in a year versus 3 to 5 years is you can literally scan something, design it, print it out, and probably on our printer that we have, probably print it out in 4 to 5 hours.
Based off this face, I can now draw straight down, and now everything will be perfectly aligned up when you print it. Cheat codes, dude.
Or it took myself or Spencer to make that part a week, let's say, to make that, and for it most likely to be like, you know what, let's change it a little bit, or let's do this, and you have to start all over again. 3D printing, so you print it, hey, you know what, looks good, or you know what, let's tweak this a little bit. All you're doing is going on the computer, tweaking it a little bit, printing it again. And while that's printing, you can do other things.
I think the old school builders are welcoming the youth. They are looking for new technology and to even learn from the next generation. They welcome a challenge. And I think that's what's been so great about seeing the next generation come to the table with new ideas. The old builders are really excited to see the next generation kind of take over and take the reins and maybe even show them a couple new tricks.
I just got back from Ojai with, hearing out everyone's, opinion and concerns, and we came up with a decision to keep the car raw, in raw form. It's definitely a heartbreaking decision that we have to do that, just because of timing, unfortunately, we can't, that's the only thing we can't change is time. So I got some news, good and bad.
Do you ever come to me with anything but?
I try. So good news, Charger 2 is here. It came in.
Oh, nice.
But we still can't make the deadline for SEMA on that second car.
I think Riccardo pretty much goes home every night, curls up in a ball, and just cries all night. I mean, honestly. Honestly, actually, he's been doing pretty damn good. I'm really happy. I've worked around a lot of different personalities, and from screamers, yellers, to everything, and he's good. He's good.
Now the bad news. Went up to Ojai, went over a bunch of different scenarios with the Chevelle, and the car will be done, but I don't think we'll have paint on the car for SEMA.
What?
They are running into issue after issue after issue on the car. It's nobody's fault. It's just what's happening. So do we sell the idea of the car as, hey, this is a fully exposed, sheet metal wide body car and go that route with it?
No, bare metal.
Just bare metal. Has anybody won Battle of the Builders like that? No. So do I feel our chances might get hurt to win? Yes. Is it possible to win? I don't know. So a promise, I had with Jason was, to deliver 3 cars at SEMA. Now delivering 2 cars plus the Chevelle, and the Chevelle being unpainted, it definitely doesn't sit well with me.
Just like the Chargers, one of those things. What do you do? I guess there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, it's just like another letdown,
Yeah.
They're bummed as well, but it's like, can we show all the craftsmanship that goes into the car? You're gonna get that respect factor because, the car is raw and you can see there's no Bondo on the car. There's nothing to hide.
Metal.
We're not hiding anything. That's a big factor too. We can display it as that, but do we have to kiss our chances at winning Battle of the Builders goodbye? Maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, I have to deal with my own emotions, right? So it's a big letdown for myself if with Waylon and the guys, we made the rendering in a certain way. Jason saw it a certain way. If we rush this, what is that gonna say about our end product?
Yeah.
You know, we can't take that chance to rush it.
All right, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. As far as the paint goes on the car, there's two ways you can look at it. As we can bring the car there bare metal, and we can show off every little aspect of the build. Car will still look clean, still be gapped right, still show all true lines on the car. But would I rather have it painted? Of course.
To be a good leader, it takes a lot of trust. You have to have trust in your guys. You have to have trust that they're gonna make the right decisions. You have to trust their ability to do things. You have to trust that they trust you. That's a big one.
Yeah, being exhausted while trying to, you know, maintain the same level of something you did when you had a good night's sleep is pretty hard, dude. It's very like not motivating because you're just genuinely tired.
If I was to describe the first year of Blazin Rodz and this year, it's been a marathon that you have to sprint your ass off at the end.
The Chevelle is definitely way more intense than originally thought, and like I thought it was gonna be when first like got brought on to do it, because we just keep adding things. Our ideas just get crazier and crazier, and we have really nothing stopping us from trying to do it except time, which we are quickly realizing is running out.